And welcome to Florida, where the alligators are friendlier than Rivian's pricing strategy. We're diving into the freshly detailed Rivian R2, the car that's supposed to be the Model Y killer since forever. As a card-carrying Tesla fan, I had to find out for myself if this thing would steal my heart or just my lunch money. Spoiler, my wallet is crying right now. If you're Team Tesla or Team Rivian, let me know in the comments, and be sure to hit that like button. If you're new here, of course, subscribe. Let's get into this thing before Elon tweets something and ruins everything. The R2 looks like someone took a cute adventure van, gave it steroids, and said, make it boxy but sexy. It's got that rugged Rivian face with those big old headlights. Ground clearance 9.6 inches, and that's basically, I laugh at pothole territory. Trims are wild right now. The first one dropping this spring is the Performance Launch Edition at around $58,000. Yes, you heard that right. Not the $45,000 dream that we were promised. Instead, we're getting a 656 horsepower monster that does 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds. And then we're going to get the premium sometime in late 2026. At $54,000 and 450 horsepower, it's still 330 miles of range. And the mythical standard, we're looking at early 2027. That's going to be about $48,000. Drops the horsepower to about 350, but it does give you 345 miles of range thanks to the rear-wheel drive configuration. Rivian basically said, pay a premium now or wait like the rest of us peasants. The interior, super spacious, massive frunk, fold flat seats, panoramic roof. It's like they designed it for people who actually use cargo space. And yeah, NACS port means it can drink from Tesla superchargers. You're basically borrowing Elon's network while pretending you're independent, which, mad respect. As a Tesla guy, I gotta admit, the R2's adventure modes and quirky storage, they feel fun. It's like if your Model Y went to summer camp and came back with hiking boots. But let's be real here. It truly is touted as the Model Y killer, and there's probably some legitimacy there. Let's talk about how these two compare. The Model Y starts at $39,990 and it goes all the way up to $57,490 for the performance. The R2 launch trim is actually coming in at about $58,000. So in that case, Tesla wins on not bankrupting you on day one. And when it comes to range, the Model Y comes in between 294 and 357 miles of real-world range. These numbers are actually real these days. It's been verified by a number of outlets. Tesla has quietly become a world champ when it comes to these range numbers. The R2 claims 330. We'll just have to wait and see, but I don't think it's too crazy to assume that's probably going to be right. The R2 performance clocks 3.6 seconds 0 to 60. The Model Y performance, 3.3 seconds, and it feels like teleporting. Elon still has the speed crown, at least for now. Off-road, R2's 9.6 inches of clearance and towing of an amazing 4,400 pounds. It totally smokes the Model Y. In fact, that compares to 6.4 inches of ground clearance and up to 3,500 pounds of towing capacity. If you actually go off pavement, Rivian's probably the better choice here. Now, as it comes to size, the R2 is a bit shorter, but it's also taller. It means we get more headroom, a little bit more presence on the road. Model Y is sleeker, it slips through traffic like it's avoiding small talk. It's all thanks to Tesla's efficiency in design. Now, when it comes to tech, Tesla clearly has the advantage here, specifically with full self-driving. That said, with a 12% take rate, I don't think it's as big a deal to consumers as some people like to think it is. Rivian does, however, have their own drive assist program called Autonomy Plus, and that's going to come standard with the launch R2. Tesla is definitely the iPhone when it comes to user experience and how things are laid out. Rivian's got a cool Samsung screen and voice AI, but it's like comparing an iPhone to a really nice Android. They both work, it's just one is a little bit more seamless. Quite possibly one of the best things that Rivian has done is integrating NACS natively into this R2. Tesla's network is bigger than anything out there, and Rivian gets points for playing nice. I gotta be honest. For the companies that are moving to NACS native, that's probably what's going to save their EVs in the future. Now, I want to look at just the numbers here because we're talking a difference on the low side of about $8,500 when you compare the standard rear-wheel drive Rivian R2 to the standard rear-wheel drive Model Y. Now, Rivian does say a $45,000 model is coming sometime in 2027, but for now, $48,000, that's $8,500 more for the base Rivian R2 That is a lot of money. And for the premium, that's $5,000 more expensive just starting as compared to the premium all-wheel drive Model Y. The performance, it's right on the money at $57,990 versus $57,490. It's $500 difference. Probably going to be the best value if you're considering a performance Model Y. We're talking about at most 27 miles of range difference between the Tesla Model Y and the Rivian R2. Now, when the 345-mile range one comes, I think that'll be well received. However, rear-wheel drive in certain areas doesn't sell that well. Although we don't have specs for the so-called $45,000 model, the minimum performance that we're talking about here is 5.9 seconds 0 to 60 versus Tesla's at the bottom 6.8. On the max side though, the performance, as I've said, 3.3 versus 3.6. The performance Model Y is just next level. Towing, of course, 900 more pounds of towing in the R2. If you're going to do any kind of towing, this thing's a no-brainer on that. That's incredible. We have some basic numbers from Rivian without a whole lot of detail. When it comes to charging, we do know it'll take 30 minutes to go from 10 to 80%, but 15 minutes you should be able to charge a claimed 150 miles of range. That compares to, at the minimum, Tesla's slowest charging at 144 miles in 15 minutes, all the way up to 182 miles of range in that same 15 minutes. So for the Tesla, we're talking between 47 and 51% of charge in 15 minutes. And on the Rivian, at most, we're talking 43.5% charge in that 15 minutes. We're talking 2 inches of additional wheelbase, 3 inches of additional ground clearance, and storage, holy cow, 14.1 cubic inches of additional storage space. This thing packs in over 90 cubic feet of storage, including the front and including everything behind the front 2 driver's seat, as compared to Tesla's 76, and the Model Y can pack a ton of stuff. This is going to be next level. On the autonomy side, which continues to be a more important conversation every day, we're talking Tesla's proven full self-driving supervised versus autonomy plus, which isn't really fully out yet. Obviously, Tesla has the clear win here, but it can't be understated how quickly Rivian has come up with autonomy plus. It's actually quite incredible. The Rivian sits about 3 inches taller, but it's also just shy of 3 inches shorter. When it comes to the width, they're basically the same at 78.1 versus 78. And another thing we don't have numbers on is total weight. For the Tesla, on the low side, 4,061. On the high side, 4,473. The Rivian is estimated at least to be 4,500 to 5,000 pounds, which shouldn't be much of a surprise. Bottom line, the Model Y is the refined veteran. Tons of tech that's proven. The R2 is the new kid on the block. So who wins here? Well, if you're like most every other car on the road and you don't ever plan on leaving the pavement, Tesla's probably the better choice here. It comes with tons of tech that's proven, 6 years of history of making this thing the best-selling car in the world. Of course, full self-driving, but with a take rate at 12%, I argue that's not the biggest case here for the Model Y, even though I personally see the value of it. On the other hand, if you're looking for adventure, you're looking for something different, this R2 is pretty good, and it might be just enough to make you consider cheating on your Tesla. Honestly, as a pretty hardcore Tesla owner, R2 is very tempting. Rivian really did it right here, and they've delivered exactly what the market tends to gravitate towards. They basically took what they think the Model Y is and made their own version of it with their own DNA, and then tried everywhere that they could to give it better specs. Everything except for price, which I guess I'm not surprised, but man, that's pretty steep when you're not considering the performance. So what about you? Are you Team Tesla forever, or are you ready to jump ship for the new Rivian? Comment below. I promise no judgment here. And that's it for my comparison of the best-selling car in the entire world to the new kid on the block. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe. I thank you so much for joining us. Can't wait to catch you on the next one.